All right, here are solutions to quiz 1 for Math 112. First problem here, we have two different exponential functions, f of x and g of x, and we got to figure out what they are based only on this information here. So it tells us that f of x, it's some exponential function, so I don't know, maybe a to the x. And we know that f of negative 2, when we put negative 2 into this function, we're going to get 16. So the question is, what does a have to be so that when we see, how about I'll rewrite this. What if we say a to the negative 2, which is 16? So a to the negative 2 equals 16. Our task is to figure out what a is, to solve this equation for a. Kind of a mean question because the method you'll use to solve this is something we haven't learned yet. You have to use logs. That's where logarithms will come in, but we don't learn that until later in this chapter. So at this point in this chapter, you kind of just have to guess and check or be able to look at this and tell what's going on. Let's see, if it was a to the second power, not to the negative 2 power, it would just be 4, because 4 squared is 16. But the negative 2 kind of throws things off, but if you remember that a negative exponent means the reciprocal, then you'll see that what a has to be is 1/4. 1/4 to the negative 2 power equals 16. So a equals 1/4. That is f of x equals 1/4 to the x. We kind of do those same methodologies down here. G of x, maybe I'll call it b to the x now. And we know that g of negative 3 equals 1/8. So b to the negative 3 power is 1/8. So the question is, what is b? What do you raise to the negative 3 power to get 1/8? Well, the negative kind of puts the thing down on the bottom. It makes this a fraction. So really the question is just what to the third power equals 8? And that's 2. 2 to the negative third power equals 1/8. So b must be equal to 2. In other words, g of x is 2 to the x. All right, and then number 2, we're given the graph of f of x equals e to the x and asked to sketch this graph. This is seeing if you remember transformations. This plus 2 here will shift us up by 2 units. And this minus 1 there is going to shift us to the right by 1 unit. That one's a little bit tricky. These horizontal transformations are kind of the opposite of what you'd think. You'd think negative 1 should make you go left, but it actually makes you go right. So let's see, we want to go up 2 and right 1. So this point right here now is somewhere over here, and this point right here going up 2 and over 1 is now somewhere in there. This up 2 over 1. We have to kind of connect those. Guess you can do that. Maybe you can draw a couple more. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. The basic idea is we want to shift up by 2 and over by 1. Okay. So this is going to be harder to draw than I want it to be. Well, let's see. We went up 2, so we'll have our asymptote here. And then we can kind of curve this through here. And then curve that there. Something that looks something like this. I'm not going to be too strict on this. If you have this kind of, maybe I'll say, note, we have a vertical, horizontal asymptote at y equals 2. So the things I'm going to look for in the picture is if you have this idea, and horizontal asymptote at y equals 2. Something like that, close enough, call it a day. Then the last problem, express the domain and the range in interval notation. Domain's kind of the easier one. The domain of an exponential function is always negative infinity up to infinity. You can put anything in this function. You can also get that from looking at this picture. Any x value has a height, according to this red graph right here. The range is a little bit trickier. The range is kind of saying, all right, what heights can come out of this function? And the way to get at that is The range of a normal exponential function is from 0 to infinity, because we don't have any negative heights here, but we shifted everything up by 2. So now it's going to be from 2 up to infinity. Maybe I'll even write because we shifted up 2. You don't have to write that, but that's just my trying to explain it for you. And that is the end of the quiz.